Hey everyone, it's Summit 57. Let me ask you something. If you had an extra $500 today, what would you do with it? Buy a new phone? Maybe some fancy coffee? While those are fun, I'm here to tell you that investing that $500 could be the smarter move even if you're a complete beginner. In this video, we're diving into the top 5 ways to invest $500 in 2024 for beginners. We'll break down each option, talk about the risks and rewards, and by the end, you'll have a clear idea of how to put that money to work for you. Remember, investing isn't about getting rich quick. It's a long game, and even starting small can make a huge difference down the line. Let's get started. Okay, so you've got your $500 ready to go. But where do you even begin? The truth is, starting small can feel incredibly intimidating. You might be thinking, $500 isn't enough to make a difference. Or, what if I lose it all? Trust me, I've been there. When I first started investing, I was terrified of making the wrong move. The internet is full of so-called experts promising you'll get rich quickly. Don't fall for it. There are tons of investment options out there, and it's easy to get overwhelmed. You've got stocks, bonds, crypto, real estate, and the list goes on. It's enough to make anyone's head spin. But here's the thing. You don't need to be a financial whiz to start investing. What matters most is that you educate yourself and make informed decisions. Remember, investing is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't get caught up in trying to time the market or chase the latest trends. Instead, focus on building a solid foundation for your financial future. That starts with understanding the basics and choosing investments that align with your goals and risk tolerance. Even if you only invest $500 to start, the most important thing is that you're taking that first step. Over time, those small contributions can add up to something significant, especially when you factor in the power of compound interest. Think of it like this. If you invest $500 today and earn an average annual return of 7%, in 10 years, you'll have over $983. That's almost double your initial investment without lifting a finger. Of course, past performance is not indicative of future results, and investing always comes with some level of risk. But by starting small and staying consistent, you're setting yourself up for long-term success. So let's dive into some of the best ways to invest that $500 and get your money working for you. One of the simplest and most effective ways to invest $500 is through a low-cost index fund. Now, I know what you're thinking. Index funds? Sounds boring. But trust me on this one. Index funds are like the unsung heroes of the investment world. They're not flashy, but they get the job done. So what exactly is an index fund? In a nutshell, it's a type of mutual fund or ETF that tracks a specific market index like the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is a basket of 500 of the largest publicly traded US companies. So when you invest in an S&P 500 index fund, you're essentially buying a tiny piece of all those companies. The beauty of index funds is that they're incredibly diversified. Instead of putting all your eggs in one basket by investing in a single stock, you're spreading your risk across hundreds or even thousands of companies. This diversification helps to reduce the impact of any one company's performance on your overall portfolio. Another major advantage of index funds is their low costs. Actively managed mutual funds, on the other hand, charge high fees to cover the costs of their fund managers who try to pick and choose winning stocks. Index funds, however, are passively managed, meaning they simply track the underlying index. This passive approach results in significantly lower fees, which can make a big difference in your returns over time. Now, let's talk about the risks. Like any investment, index funds are not without their downsides. The main risk with index funds is that your returns are tied to the performance of the underlying index. If the S&P 500 goes down, so too will your investment. However, over the long term, the stock market has historically trended upwards. So, while there will always be ups and downs in the short term, history has shown that investing in a diversified portfolio of stocks for the long haul is a solid strategy for building wealth. If you're just starting out with $500, investing in a low-cost index fund is a fantastic way to dip your toes into the market and start growing your money. Chapter 3: Peer-to-peer lending. Become the bank, not the borrower. Let's move on to our next investment option, peer-to-peer lending, or P2P lending for short. Now, this one might be a little more unfamiliar to some of you, so let me break it down. P2P lending platforms like Lending Club and Prosper connect borrowers directly with investors, cutting out the traditional banks. As an investor, you can browse through loan listings and choose which ones you want to fund. You can diversify your investments across multiple loans, just like you would with an index fund. One of the main appeals of P2P lending is the potential for higher returns compared to traditional savings accounts or bonds. Since you're lending money directly to borrowers, you get to keep a larger portion of the interest payments. However, it's important to remember that higher returns often come with higher risks. With P2P lending, the biggest risk is that borrowers may default on their loans. That's why it's crucial to carefully vet borrowers and spread your investments across multiple loans to mitigate your risk. Most P2P lending platforms assign credit ratings to borrowers based on their credit history and financial situation. As an investor, you can choose to invest in loans with different credit ratings based on your risk tolerance. For example, if you're more risk-averse, you might stick to lending to borrowers with higher credit ratings. These borrowers are considered less likely to default, but they also tend to offer lower interest rates. On the other hand, if you're comfortable with taking on more risk, you could consider lending to borrowers with lower credit ratings. These borrowers may offer higher interest rates, but they also pose a greater risk of default. P2P lending can be a great way to diversify your portfolio and potentially earn higher returns than you would with more traditional investments. However, it's essential to do your research, understand the risks involved, and invest responsibly. Chapter 4. Investing $500. Your top options for 2024. Alright, let's take a quick recap of the top 5 ways to invest $500 in 2024. 1. Low-cost index funds. These are like the all-in-one investment for beginners. You're buying a tiny piece of hundreds of companies, which helps spread your risk. Plus, they're super low cost, meaning more of your money is working for you. 2. Peer-to-peer lending. Become the bank and lend money directly to borrowers. You can earn potentially higher returns, but remember, there's always a risk of borrowers defaulting. 3. Fractional shares. Don't have enough to buy a whole share of Amazon or Tesla? No problem. Fractional shares let you buy portions of individual stocks, making investing in big-name companies more accessible. 4. High-yield savings accounts. While not as sexy as the stock market, high-yield savings accounts offer a safe and liquid way to earn a little extra on your money. It's not going to make you rich, but it beats earning next to nothing in a traditional savings account. 5. Invest in yourself. This one's often overlooked, but investing in your education or skills can pay off big time in the long run. Whether it's taking an online course, attending a workshop, or learning a new trade, investing in yourself can boost your earning potential and open up new opportunities. No matter which option you choose, the key is to do your research, understand the risks involved, and invest for the long term. Don't get caught up in trying to get rich quick or chase the latest investment fads. Instead, focus on building a solid foundation for your financial future by making smart, informed decisions. Chapter 5. What will you do with $500? So there you have it. The top 5 ways to invest $500 in 2024, even if you've never invested a dime before. Remember, the most important step is to just get started. Even if it's just $50 a month, the power of compound interest can turn those small contributions into something significant over time. The biggest mistake you can make is letting fear or procrastination hold you back from taking control of your financial future. Investing doesn't have to be complicated or intimidating. With a little bit of knowledge and a long-term perspective, you can make your money work for you and achieve your financial goals. Look, I get it. $500 might not seem like much in the grand scheme of things. But here's the thing. It's not about the amount, it's about building the habit. Just like with anything else in life, consistency is key. By investing consistently, even if it's just a small amount each month, you're setting yourself up for success in the long run. So, what are you waiting for? Take that first step, get started, and watch your money grow. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Your support helps us create more content like this. Stay tuned for more tips and see you in the next video.